Hello, my name is Sam Gorey, and I'm going to be presenting our paper, Investigating the Homogenization of Web Design, a Mixed Methods Approach. Over the past 5 years, a surprising number of web design blogs have posed the question, why do all websites look the same now? And we decided to investigate this question empirically using computer vision, by measuring how the visual homogeneity of the internet changed between 2003 and 2019. This is an important question. As HCI researchers, we should be thinking about the factors which influence visual design, since it serves as a backdrop for everything else on the web, and has a strong effect on things like user experience. For example, to study a contemporary trend like web brutalism, we need to understand the history to which it responds, and why it makes sense. This question is also a good opportunity for mixing quantitative and qualitative techniques. The Internet Archive gives us a perfect opportunity to apply computational methods to this problem, but these methods aren't perfect, so we should triangulate our findings through other methods like ethnography. So what data should we use? The internet is vast. There's always over 1 billion websites. Even a random sample, if we could construct it, might not represent the web as people see it. So instead we make use of 3 selection strategies. First, we use websites of top companies from the Russell 1000. Second, we use websites of the Alexa Top 500. Third, we use Webby Award-nominated websites. These selection strategies are not perfect. They're biased towards the English-speaking web, for example, but they let us get different snapshots of change over time. The next question is, how should we measure similarity between websites? We need something like this to measure homogeneity. We settled on 2 approaches. First, we use hand-tuned metrics for layout and color, which are easy to interpret, but had to be hand-designed for the task. Second, we use deep learning-based metrics, which we learn automatically from data, but are difficult to interpret as a result. To triangulate further, though, we also conducted interviews with veteran web designers to investigate how their tools and design processes have changed over the past 15 years. While all of our participants started in web design, their career paths diverged and actually covered the gamut of jobs involved in the web today quite well. What we found was that yes, websites do look more similar. The average distance between pages mostly increased over the first 8 or 9 years, but then decreased through until the present. Layout distance declined the most, 44% between 2012 and 2019. Because we used interpretable features, though, we can figure out why. With respect to color, sites shifted from a variety of colored backgrounds to mostly off-white backgrounds with other colors and images on top. For layout, pages used to have a variety of dense column patterns, but they're now mostly centered with lots of blank space. We also looked at the source code. While code overlap between pages has gone down, software library overlap has gone up. This pattern occurs first in the websites from technology and consumer services companies, and it correlates with another pattern, mobile support. But this could all just be a coincidence. So we did a regression analysis to measure which libraries similar-looking sites tend to have in common. We found that UI libraries, which are often used for responsive web design, tend to actually predict for more similar layouts, while other libraries, as you can see, predict for less similar layouts. Our interview results contextualize these findings. When asked about how their tools and processes have changed, our participants referenced the rise of software libraries and highly technical tooling for the web. The gradual adoption of CSS and JavaScript improved the web, doing away with earlier practices like table-based layouts, but they made development more technically demanding. Libraries help to remedy this problem. They manage complexity, increase mobile support and resilience, and are helpful to achieve usability and accessibility goals. There were also changes in cultural constraints on web design. Mobile devices led to an increase in comfort with scrolling, which decreased the importance of above-the-fold design. Steve Jobs' 2007 thoughts on Flash, where he announced that Flash wouldn't be supported on the iPhone, made interaction on the web converge on JavaScript. Google's 2015 Mobile Get An update, where they changed search rankings to prioritize sites with mobile support, forced holdout sites to shift to this new development paradigm. Also, the design process has become important to business, leading to long, drawn-out design negotiations. As our participants said, it takes a village to raise a website now. So all of this talk of conformity leads to a question. Is it a good thing for the web? We believe there are strong arguments on both sides. On the one hand, popular libraries are better at adhering to accessibility standards. Sites that use common interaction patterns are easier to use, and there are just fewer really awful web designs now than there used to be. On the other hand, though, the internet is a unique cultural artifact that anyone can contribute to, and as designers we believe that form should communicate content. The tech startup aesthetic just isn't right for every site. We're also concerned that big tech companies are the ones maintaining these libraries. These companies seek to consolidate power over web infrastructure more generally, which the Mozilla Foundation has labeled as bad for the health of the web. We believe this consolidation might extend to design aesthetics as well. Thank you.